Just want to make sure the live stream's inbound here. Usually it takes a little while.
I want this light on.
Let me see. Turn it off now. You can leave it off. Okay, we're officially live.
Wow, here we are.
I just gotta send the link out.
Awesome. Send that link out.
Cause
let everyone know.
Can't be found in the link. People can't be found in the link. That's fine though. I understand, folks. It's tough. I always hate how I have to do this in the beginning. I need to have somebody just be doing this.
I feel you.
But you know what? When you run your own podcast, sometimes there's just things that you got to do yourself.
Yeah, man.
But you know what? When you run your own podcast, then you got to run the podcast back. Okay. Okay, there we go. Send it out to the squad. Good amount of people there. Snapchat. Trying to get the most amount of people we can in the live, 'cause sometimes I slack on that, so.
Great tea.
Good tea?
Great tea. Your boy makes great tea.
He's killing it on the tea.
He is killing it on the tea.
That's why I live with him, man. Okay, so we got all of our social media bullshit out of the way.
Yeah, so how are we? It's so funny, man.
It's wild.
We're about to talk right now, and before we got on this podcast, we were talking about so many great things. I know what a two-stroke engine is now, which is great. I didn't know that before.
Yeah, that's pretty essential if you're dealing with any type of engine. That's like the first, like, other than air, fuel, spark.
Right.
That's the second thing you learn is the difference between them.
Right.
You know?
I'm getting there. I would like to know about cars at some point. I know more about the outsides and what they are rather than what's really inside. You know what I mean? That's what I need to know.
What's everything that's going right to make the car maintain on the road.
Exactly.
That's what people take for granted every day. It's like you got to be happy that your wheel didn't fall off. Like we trust these things, but like they've made millions of them. Like things go wrong. I mean, I'm not saying to be like have a pessimistic attitude towards motor vehicles, but at the same time, a lot goes right.
When I drive a lot, I'm always like, oh, dude, I wonder how brakes work. When I go home, I'm going to find out how brakes work because I'm, like, really curious about how, like, you make something at that speed stop.
3,000 pounds.
They're so good at, like...
100 miles an hour, it'll stop.
Brakes are really good at working. I'm like, wow, these things are awesome,
They're really good
at working.
Doing their job.
At doing their job.
Until you blow a brake line or something.
And I always forget. I got to go and look at how a brake works. Maybe you can explain it to me on another podcast.
I mean, it's pretty simple.
The Bob Auto podcast.
This is the wrong podcast for brake talk, but no, we still cover engines. We're not going
to be talking about cars.
We're going to be covering carburetors,
yeah,
the whole nine, man.
Take out your notepads.
Yeah, everybody get ready for this. Yeah, man, that's funny actually, but
what would you like to talk about?
I don't know.
What should we start with? We talked about enough random stuff.
Yeah, true. Well, let me intro you in the podcast anyway, so people know who you are. So this is Beej Links. This is the man who engineered my album, helped me with the entire thing, just from start to finish. Like knows my sound through the progression of probably over a year or two now.
Yeah, man. Well, you're a producer and an MC, which is really awesome.
Yeah, man. Thank you.
I'm seeing like the two sides of you grow in a sense, so it's like it's cool, man, and you're killing both. So
thanks, man. I'm trying to simultaneously get better at both, so that's like
before the podcast he was just showing me his new stuff, and it's really awesome. You know, your beats are definitely getting better, 100%.
Yeah, I'm trying to. I think overall I'm getting a better ear for the whole thing,
right?
So that's helping me. Like even in the program I've gotten better, but that's just skill, you know. That's just something I can develop kind of consciously, but the unconscious stuff is the hardest thing, right? So,
really is.
But I took a lot of that from you though, because I could actually see how somebody works who knows what they're doing, you know. So, and I never had that before. I was just going off like whatever I thought people should do, you know. So, yeah, that was cool. So, Beej Links is a artist of all sorts of types of art, I'd say.
Yeah, every year I find something new. Now it's two-stroke engines.
Yeah, now we're delving into two-stroke engines and RC cars. So that's gonna be a common theme.
Yeah.
That's it. That's funny, man. So, just like, so what do you do? Like, just tell people what you do out in Philly. Like, what's your...
Well, for the past
what's
10
your
years,
basis?
yeah, 10 years I've been in Philly, working with my boys. They're I got a lot of people that are in the entertainment arts industry just like me. A lot of my friends. I got photographer friends, MCs, managers, artists, painters, a lot of different things. I mean, that's what in this world you expect that. I mean, a lot of people do a million
Everybody's
things.
specialized. They all have their own thing they do. Yeah.
Something, but I mean, we try to take it to another level. We do a lot of things professionally, but for me, I like to help people with their projects. I work with the artist Alexander Charles. He's an MC in Philly, formerly in the group with me, Ground Up. But we work on a lot of production, and I try to work on a lot of clothing art for myself, like a lot of clothing brand stuff. I have a clothing brand called Self Control, which I released.
Crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
I started that last year.
Was it only last year? Was it only 2018 or?
Yeah, actually, you know what?
Little
it was
2017.
The end of 2017.
That's crazy though, because I feel like it's like. Yeah. I feel like it's so much more established than it.
Yeah, because
it feels like it's more established than just 1 year. You know.
Yeah, I didn't take it seriously when I first started it. I kind of was just like, I'm gonna get some T-shirts, sweatshirts. I love making things, man. I like using my hands, So I just put a table in the middle of my house and just started going to work, markers, paints, whatever.
Yeah.
And over time, people just really started liking Self Control and the brand and stuff. So I just took it to the next level and started taking it very seriously. And I really enjoy it because, I used to work with a lot of, making clothing for, the old group we did with Ground Up. Just working on merch and stuff. It wasn't only me. It was a couple other friends. But when I didn't have that anymore, I still wanted to do it. I was like, dude, I still want to make clothes and stuff. You
still have that inclination to this is what I like to do, regardless of what I'm doing it for.
Exactly. So I started Self Control, and it's been really fun, man. And the whole thing behind the brand is too Self Control. It's very self-explanatory. It's nothing too deep. It's just a reminder that people need self control. It's we feel like everyone feels like they want to change the world in some crazy way, but in my opinion, if people just had more self-control for themselves, I feel like it would make the world a better place.
Well, that's the adage, I guess you would call it, or the saying, make your bed before you do anything.
I love that, yeah.
And listen, I'm not perfect. I don't make my bed every morning. I try, right? But I think everybody tries to, and they probably skip some days. But I think going off that premise, if you can be in control of everything you can control, then you can say, okay, I'm good. What does the next person need that they can't control, and go help them with that? But 100%. So going off of your the name of your brand, that's I completely agree with that. It does have weight to it.
Yeah. And some people are always it's kind of like a reminder. I'm like, that's right.
Every time I think of it, I think of that. And I think of the whole thing.
And a lot of people think it's drugs. No, it's not drugs. I'm not saying you have to control yourself a drug. It's everything. Or
it could be. I mean, it could be it's
driving
subjective, right?
Driving slower. You know what I mean? Have some self control. I personally when I'll be driving, I'll think, dude, you gotta chill out. There's humans around you that have lives. You know what I mean? You gotta respect that. And people are so quick to just forget that and drive past people really fast because they're irritated. I'm like, dude, that person has a heartbeat.
Especially in an elevated state on the road. I mean, that is why road rage happens, because your body doesn't understand how it's possible for you to be doing 90 miles an hour on a road in a car.
And a body that only goes 10 miles per hour
on its own.
Feet has the control of something that can go 120. And it's just wow, man.
And that's why people get angry, because you're in an elevated state of mind. You're like, I could die in 5 seconds. So that's really it.
No, some real
having that
serious.
That's
exactly it.
It's the truth. Having that self-control in that moment, even when your entire self is kind of elevated, having the self-control in that too. Yeah,
because some people are
that's important, man.
I can't help this world. I want to end racism, but I can't because you got to be so and so to do that. But no, just have some self-control, learn some things. You know what I mean?
Set an example.
Educate yourself, set an example, and be a better person so other people can see that. And that's that can be exponential. You know what I mean? That's what really helps.
That's really the change. I mean, people are just looking for honesty, basically. I think they're looking for, if people feel you, and people understand that people believe that you believe what you're saying, then they'll believe it. But otherwise, like if you're running off some alternative agenda that like doesn't feel like it's vibes with you, and people can't make that connection, like the message is lost. It's lost. So I think you have a brand that encompasses kind of what you stand for, and that's basically it. Like it's just you. Like it's another just part of you. So that's the truest. I think that's the truest way to do it.
Thank you, man. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and like because you have the music too, so that's just like another asset. Like
the music's more personal, you know. I mean, that's what it always is, you know. I mean, I'm not too. My topics are, just love, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
you know
man.
I mean?
No, it's cool. But you also have how many beats that like how many songs and beats and whatever that music-wise you've made that it must be personal because I know you have a lot.
Right.
You know, you have so much.
Catalog.
Yeah, it's a catalog and it's yours, and like you're not going out and putting them up on your website. Like you're just that's your collection, you know. And so like I guess, correct me if I'm wrong, but it seems like the more expressive side is almost in the brand. I think.
I like that. It is.
You know, like it's a different form of the expression, but it's more outgoing.
Right.
And then the music is really intrinsic. Like, It's really like
nice breakdown.
Deep in there. I got you, beats.
Thanks,
Don't
brother.
worry, man.
All
Hey,
right.
hey, you know my sound. I know your sound, man. So
yeah, real shit, man.
Yeah. Not to get too deep on these motherfuckers.
Right.
You know.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta tell it how it is, man.
Yeah. And BOPCAST, by the way, Bob over here did some decorating before I came through. He added some posters and stuff. Like, dude, this whole setup you got here is solid.
Thanks,
I'm like
man.
actually like jealous. I'm like, oh my god, like you have a really dope setup.
Like it kind of is like a little podcast section,
really
you know?
is, dude.
Yeah,
Oh
I
my
just added
God.
this stuff today because I was like, I'm trying to kind of bring it in because I always see these podcasts and they have these big tables and they have a ton of shit on the tables.
Yeah,
and
I see microphones and stuff and I get all excited, man.
Yeah.
I'm just like, wow, this is cool. You got these little things hanging off here and
Yep.
stuff, making it easy so you don't have to hold the microphone.
Yeah, see, that's what I didn't want to happen too.
And-
Now you're like, you look like an asshole when you have these fucking pop filters on here. I'll tell you. I'll tell you that. I unfortunately, I'm trying to get this. I should just get a sleeve, but either way, I mean, it still floats.
Yeah.
Like it's still like the mic's just chilling.
Yeah, but we
from the
got
stem.
weed, tea, coffee,
Water. We have everything G'd up. We got Sully beer, empty beer cans. We have these guys. These guys are the OGs.
You're doing great, man.
You
That's
know?
what I'm saying. You're doing
Look at
great.
these guys.
I
They're
love
chilling.
this, man. This is cool.
No,
I'm happy
thanks,
to be
man.
here. This is like really awesome. I love being here, talking to you, man, because we're always working on music and stuff.
And then we don't get like obviously in a sesh we're gonna chill and like hang out for like a half an hour, hour or something, and just kind of shoot the shit. But
we talk about a lot.
Yeah,
I'm glad
we
everyone
talk
can
about
hear
so many
what
different things.
we talk about, man.
Yeah,
so.
it's two-stroke engines, Chris Miller barn finds.
Oh yeah, Chris Miller barn finds.
Shout out Chris Miller, a contractor, LLC.
Yeah.
C Mills. I'm shouting you out, buddy. I better get some bread for that. I'm making you a sponsor without him even knowing yet. So that's good. Chris Miller Contracting for your contracting needs. But regardless, yeah, man. That's so this is what I'm doing.
This is what you do. Man.
Yeah, this is what I'm doing. I'm just trying to have people on to express themselves and just tell people what they do. But also, from my side, I'm looking at it like if I just make it about other people, then they'll give back to me if they go out and like it just increases my chances of
100%.
having these connections with people that hey maybe somebody goes out and they're create some huge business organization and you know like they know me, they can always come back and talk about it. Right. So I hope that as people grow, the podcast can grow. And then fucking see where it goes. New age. Yep. That's it, man.
But what else is new, man?
Shit, man. Not much. Just got a new job. Other than that,
just got a new job.
Yep. I've really just been doing the same old, trying to get this EP out. Trying to find the sound. Trying to get some different beats. Yeah. Been having shout out Brian, who was on the podcast 2 episodes ago. He hooked me up with some beats, so I've just been working on those. I've been just trying to differentiate a little bit, you know.
Nice, man.
But do what I can do, you know.
Nice.
Keep the sound going.
Well, maybe we can talk about like some things that like maybe there's some producers out there, musicians out there that would like some like you know just like an idea of like what they should be doing right now because like we're living in a place right now where like everyone thinks they have a talent of something. Everyone's like
yeah.
waking up out of bed and being like, yo, I can play guitar.
Yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I mean? But yeah, there's a lot of things people are doing out there right now, and yeah, it's almost like it's oversaturated in a sense.
Yeah. Well, what do you think is like? What was it for you? Like, what made you wanna like? Was it beats first, or did you have another thing? Was it just playing
it's
music?
funny when I started making music, man. Like I didn't have Instagram or anything. We started back out in like 2009, 2010. So it's like
so YouTube was just kind of come along.
YouTube was there. I mean, YouTube was established, but like it was like I think our to release things was like MySpace and like and Facebook.
DatPiff around
and
maybe?
Facebook.
And Facebook, yeah, shit.
Facebook was really important. But like they're just
Still
tools, man. I think people kind of like get it in their head that like they need to be the most popular Instagram page to be something, and it's like Instagram is just a tool. You know what
it's
I
a
mean?
facilitator.
It's a facilitator
of communication.
You know what I mean? So it's just like, yeah, of course you may have these talents, and I think people are just seeing online that like the fact that like they see other people doing it, so they think they can do it. Which I'm no doubt in my mind you can do it.
Yeah.
But like in some sense, like people are kind of turning very narcissistic in a sense. Like it's me. This is the cereal. Why aren't you liking the cereal that I eat in the restaurants that I go to? And
yeah, and if they don't, then it's like,
well, people get a high off it when they have a good day. They're like, oh, I'm having a good week. I got a lot of reaction. And then when they don't, they turn into like sad kings. You know what I mean? They're like everyone's like turning into like a little sad king.
It feels like their power like, can't be fully exercised. Like people aren't recognizing their potential, right?
Exactly. And
I'm better than this.
Exactly. And if you can get past that and just realize that no one really ever cares in a sense, just as much as you don't care about the billboard you pass on the highway.
Yeah, I mean you are a Instagram is a billboard for you. It's just an advertisement for you.
We're on a highway.
It's a little a little like 4x7 advertisement for you, like that's all it is.
Instagram is a highway. We're going fast. We're scrolling through it. We're gonna see it for 3 seconds, and then we're moving on.
Read it, move on. Watch it, move on.
We're driving fast.
Yeah, we're with
and you know what? People are gonna keep driving faster.
Yeah, and also with the algorithms too, and how Instagram is not even Instagram. I shouldn't even say that. Facebook. They own Instagram. So Facebook, anything that happens on Instagram, it's Facebook. So they want it so they can completely tailor the feed to where it's their gain, basically. The people who are paying the most amount to promote will run to the top, and the algorithm and all this shit. Like, there's so much detail in it that we never had before. Right. And now people are going so far, and it takes some life away from you, you know?
Right. Well, the funny thing is there's always been algorithms. It's just that people are like, starting to like understand what an algorithm really is. There's algorithm when Instagram first came out. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it was also chronological, though. Yeah. It used to be chronological.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. I mean, but to me, that doesn't...
Like, that's what the change... Really that's what... You're right, though. That's what the change was. That's when people started going,
like,
algorithms?
What's that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's when... That was the... Like, that was when people recognized it. You're right. They had one before, but nobody cared.
Exactly.
Because it didn't affect them.
Right.
But when it does, then they go, what is this?
Right.
These apps are stealing all of our data. They know what we're doing. Like,
that's big business right now.
Yeah.
Data and databases of people's information. So, you know.
Yeah, open source and encrypted is like, it's rare, but
yeah, man.
That would be cool if that was the future.
Would.
That's different than the highway. That's like a back road because you can kind of take your time.
Right.
And it's not so saturated.
Right.
But it is very sad. And like back to musicians, I guess that brings us full circle back.
Full circle back.
In the saturation. Yeah, it's just a tool. And if you can, not saying there's other ways to get your sound out there, I think too. And also doing anything live is good. Like I've had the first time that people have actually asked me what my whole album means and asked me what was the whole basis of it, wanted the backstory, was when I performed live. That's the only time when people have asked me about that and found me and then came up to me hey, what does this all mean? Yeah. So I think that's that's the OG,
Right.
Instagrams, you can it's there,
I think
but you can't do that. You don't have that connection on Instagram.
I think the best things I think what a musician could do in these days right now, especially because when I was starting out, I wish I had someone tell me this, but I didn't. But there's a lot of money for producers, writers, MCs, writing gigs. If you can go out and find there's commercials that are being made. Companies for example, like Under Armour, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like little small YouTube series. They all need music and stuff. And like when I was growing up, I was like, you know what? I just got to be a hip hop producer and that's it. And that's how I get paid for this. But like, no, like I wish when I was younger, someone told me like, yo, dude, you can write jingles for this company and you can make beats for this commercial or just make sound for that. I would have done it.
A lot of producers make a lot of money doing that too.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And MCs, the same thing. Like a lot of people need copy. A lot of writing is involved in these things. And like, to me, it's like, if you really want to make this your job, it's like, you got to stray away from like, maybe say like so-called like internet promotional Instagram stuff and kind of like really find work out there because there's companies have always needed that.
Yeah, and they also
even before Instagram, they were still producers making music for these companies
and making money. I mean? Yeah,
and making money.
No, I think almost not all of the time, but some of the time, too much emphasis is put on the value of Instagram, and it's basically like a facade. Like it's not the end all be all, right? Yeah.
I mean, obviously, if you have a product, this is different for people that are in business. If you have a product, it's different. You can go on Instagram, make ads, and you have a product to sell. But for like musicians and artists, man, you really gotta find work. You can't really advertise it. I think you build a portfolio off of these kind of works. Like a lot of people don't know that Pusha T wrote the jingle for McDonald's.
Really?
Yeah,
oh shit, I didn't even know that.
Yeah,
wow.
And I thought that was really cool. And someone back then told him, I was like, yo, dude,
hey,
like,
you can do this.
You can do this.
Yeah.
And he's like, all right, word, I'll get that check.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, so I think that like, I hope that people find that over time, like, with or without social media, there's work out there. You can be a professional at what you do if you want. You just gotta work a different way.
And from amateur to pro, I think it's a pretty fine line. I mean, it's either it's your side gig or it's not.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like overall. Right. And if you have to wait and build it from the side for a long time, then I think that's the way to do it.
Right.
Basically.
100%.
But you know the people who never made the switch.
Right.
Like, who never went.
Well, that's why I say coming here is inspiring, man. Like, you're a young guy, man. You're an MC. You're doing the music thing. You're doing the production thing. And, like, you're starting to find out, like, dude, I can do a podcast, too. Like, this is another route. This is another route of something I can do.
And look at how easy this shit is. Like,
exactly.
It's not rocket. The thing is, this is the thing. I don't think people are comfortable enough with themselves a lot of times, because I've asked people to come on here and they're like, listen, I just can't say yes because I'm not ready. And I said, that's fine, but are you ever gonna be ready? Like, I wasn't ready to make a podcast as much as anybody else is ready to make a podcast. Nobody knows. There's no blueprint for making a podcast. Right. So after talking about it for a year, I said, I might as well just make one. I already have one mic. Boom, buy another mic, webcam. Let's get it. So it's not like, and it's the same thing with creating art or music. It's like there's no one way to do it, and you don't have to be a certain type of person even. But I think it's easier for me just because I like to talk and I don't have a problem being on camera or recorded. Like, I'm better at that. So the public speaking aspect is
I mean,
one thing.
It's perfect because that leads into like kind of like my word of the year. My word of the year for this year, I said it in the beginning of the year, that execution is my word, because last year I was I'm an ideas guy. I'm a think tank. I come up with ideas very fast.
Just coming.
They're always
just a little machine.
And sometimes it's people are always like, dude, it's so awesome you can do that, but sometimes it's a curse too, because like it's overwhelming. You can't really do all these ideas.
You can't.
You really
do
can't.
Every one.
You can't. Yeah. It's impossible. So what I've been doing this year, just exactly, I can talk about this, is like in On the Family, this new show that I have on Instagram. Kind of just started out with that thought, because last year I was constantly just thinking of things and not doing anything. And this year I was like, you know what? I'm with my friends. I'm always like, you know, I would love to make a movie about this. Or wouldn't it be so funny if, like, in a scene in the movie that there were these two guys and they were like going back at it, and someone
lost the money.
Lost the money. And I'm like, you know what, Bish? And I always tell myself, like, yo, dude, you got to be like making Hollywood films to do that. You got to meet so many films. And I'm like, you know what, dude? You have action figures on your desk right now. Why don't you take them and animate
Like you have the means, right?
I have the means. Like I got this. Like I make all the movies on my phone.
It's awesome too.
So I created
just so people know,
Instagram,
All in the Family is sick.
An Instagram movie. Or no, not a movie. It's an Instagram series.
TV series.
Yeah. Called All in the Family, and it's made of all action figures I order off of Amazon and things that's laying around the house and RC cars and stuff. But like these are things that I really enjoy, and like most of the time, like for example, like the other day I was in the bathroom doing laundry, and I started whistling this really cool theme song. I was just whistling it, and I recorded it on my phone. And after I was doing laundry, I was just like gonna go roll up a joint and like sit and smoke on the couch. But I was like, you know what, dude? Why don't you just go to your computer and make this theme song? Because it'd be really dope.
It's already in your head.
It's already in my head. Execution. So I just did it, and I did that instead. And I've just been trying to practice that. There's like any kind of thing that comes in my mind, I just want to just execute it. Whether it's a movie or a weird commercial or a song.
Just at least see what you can do with it.
Obviously, like with music is a lot different. I actually like designate time in my week and my days to make music and do all those kind of things. But like anything else that I have, like I just try to do. You know what I mean? Like I just don't want to be that person that just keeps making excuses in my head of why I can't make a movie.
And it's
well, I'm worried about the quality. Oh, it's not production quality.
The details. The little details
like,
that nobody cares about other than
no
you.
one cares about. You know. So yeah, that's where I lie. It's just the execution is very important for me.
That's awesome, man. No, that's a great word because if you just do the thing,
right.
you know, then you execute it.
Right.
That's it. Like there is no. It's not complicated. But the more complicated people make it, the less execution happens.
Exactly.
You know, it's like the 80-20 principle, basically. Pareto's law is.
Oh, what's that?
So it's called like the P principle too.
Okay.
So basically, 20% or 80% of your problems come from 20% of what you're doing. So 80% of the time that you waste comes from 20% of the things you do.
Wow, I love it.
Yeah, and it was basically.
Is this some Greek shit?
No, his name is I forgot his first name. His last name was like Pareto or something,
right.
And we created this law, this principle where you had all these.
Sounds like Greek, or like some like Greek mythological.
It might be.
Like,
I think it was like 1600s or something, 1700. I don't know, but he had all these P's, and he found that I don't know all the details, but he found that like 20% or 80% of like the bad P's were coming from like 20% of like this one strain. So he recognized that strain, and then he basically like took it out, and then bred the other ones, like the ones who were yielding that 20% who were doing like really good, right. And he multiplied those. So it's basically like it's a breeding technique basically for that he designed from plants, but it works in anything. Like it works in business, you know,
in
like
society.
Yeah, it works in society. Like and it applies. So and like other people like Tim Ferriss and like they've gone they've expanded on it heavily, like in business, and found really good examples of it. But the main basis is just 80% of your problems come from 20% of what you're doing, or vice versa.
Wow.
20% of your problems come from 80% of what you're doing. Then that's really bad.
Wow.
But like it's usually that, or it could be 70-30. But yeah.
It's funny. I have this saying, and your poster reminded me of it. That Grateful Dead poster. I always try to repeat to myself. I said it the other day to a friend. I like to do what the flowers do. Just do what the flowers do. Do what nature does. Follow it. Like, especially with seasons. I feel bad for people that don't live in 4 seasons. I hate the 4 seasons, but yet I appreciate it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's such a different vibe shift. Like,
it's a reminder. It's a reminder that things die. It's a reminder that trees lose their leaves. I really enjoy the fact that, like, I don't know, we accept it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's something you just accept. When you see a tree with no leaves, you accept it. You're like, all right, well, it's wintertime. That's when trees lose their leaves.
It's like the stars, man. Like, that shit is up there all the time, but it's only cool. It's only cool when you look at it.
I feel like people who live in, like, areas with, like, one season, I'm like, do they ever see dead flowers? Unless it gets run over by, a car or something?
Yeah, that's...
Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you got it. No, it's the growth and decay, man.
Where do
like,
they
it's
see
the cycle.
that? Yeah, and it's so funny because I'm the kind of guy who's like, oh, I hate the cold. I got to get out of here as soon as I can. But in some sense, I think it helps, and I think it grounds you. And makes you realize something's got to go.
And it's also brutal too. Like
even with music, man, when spring comes, I get so excited. I'm like, like a flower. I'm just like, yo, dude, like I can't wait to
crack the window.
I can't wait to bloom and show everyone what I've been
open the door, just let the
up
air
all winter. You know what I mean?
And there's certain music for that too, which is nice.
Yeah.
Which is a dope aspect of music, man, because there's just certain music that like I just play in the spring, and I know it because I know it on the first day when I smell it. I smell spring a little bit. I'm like, that's spring's coming.
Yeah,
like I smell it. Like the when it rains, it's like fresh rain.
I feel like you're supposed to be making music in the wintertime. It's like so important. Like
I mean, fuck all year round, man. I don't take breaks.
I understand that. Like obviously, make it when you can make it, but in like a.
Especially in the winter, though. What are you doing?
What else are you doing?
Especially in the winter in Jersey.
In Jersey. Jersey.
Or Philly. It's the same weather basically.
Hey, careful what you say about Philly.
Not the same place. It's the same weather though. Similar weather.
I'm kidding.
Yeah, I know, bro. You gotta defend your city, man.
Yeah, man. You gotta follow the seasons, man. It's important.
And just stay with it.
80-20, or the flower. Whatever you want to follow.
Doesn't matter.
Either
way, just follow. Just be on something.
Be on something, dude.
Be on something that can give you like a guide that can kind of guide the way.
If you live in the West Coast, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, exactly. Hey, listen, you come over here on the East Coast, we got fucking seasons. Oh my god, watching American Gangster, man, that shit got me like.
It's a good movie.
I mean, Denzel. Do I have to say anything?
Denzel and
else?
Robert De Niro are they're my dad's two favorite actors, and I've always respected them. Like, you know what? They're like solid actors to like. You know what I mean?
Every time. They really don't disappoint either. Like, they don't do many, like, shitty movies.
No.
Like Ben Affleck, like, he just does hella shitty movies, so I'm sorry, bud. Like, you're a really good actor, but some people just do. They just have a couple that are really good.
Yeah. Revamp me on the whole American Gangster movie. I remember that movie starts out. There's a point. I don't want to spoil it for people who don't see it.
It's 2007. I mean, at this point, if you didn't watch it, sorry, folks. Like,
but there's a point where
pause this, go watch it now. Come back.
He has that turning point. You know what I mean? Like every drug movie, every drug dealer gets that turning point where it's just like,
It was almost too perfect too. It was wild because he was the first black man to actually be like a kingpin in
with
the
like
city.
Italians.
Yeah, with Italians, and that roughed a lot of people up. Like that messed a lot of people up.
Yeah. And
it was it's all about him becoming a kingpin and being a fed.
Right.
And being able to get the drugs into it. And it's based on a true story. I don't know how much of it is true, but a cop basically controlling all of the heroin is crazy.
Have you the Oscars are tonight, which I'm really excited for. I'm
huge Oscars
big
guy
Oscars
out here.
Guy, dude. I love watching people walk on the red carpet with their outfits and stuff.
That's cool though.
It's freaking cool, man.
It's a different aspect of our culture.
Yeah, and I'm really excited because I like to watch all the movies that come out before they're released. Because when I'm watching the Oscars, I like to see why they won. Like, I guess that's why they got Best Actor for that over that.
Yeah, or I remember that.
But any movies recently you saw that are on the Oscars? Because I saw a lot of them.
Like a new movie?
Like the one with Lady Gaga in it.
I think my mom saw that. Somebody told me to watch that.
That's a really good one. That was good. My two favorite, Green Book and Roma. I hope they win. I hope one of those two wins.
I haven't watched them, but I'll have to.
Right.
I don't.
Out there, you should.
I'm trying to
Netflix,
think of the
Roma.
newest movie that I watched. Well, yeah, we watch a lot of older movies usually.
Fucking American Gangster, dude.
American Gangster, like No Country for Old Men.
That's a great movie.
Yeah, great movie. Wind River is a great movie, as well. About a sniper, great sniper movie. I'm trying to find throwbacks recently.
I don't do action movies. Like, I'll watch them, but, like, it's really hard for me to sit down and watch it. I'll be going on, like, Instagram during it and stuff because I watch a movie mainly for the writing and the actors.
I'm more like that, too. But sometimes if there's, like, a really good storyline in it, I'll take the action, you know? So if the storyline has got me in, I'm like, all right, the action's just a little bonus on the side, but I won't watch the movie for the action anymore. When I was young, I definitely did.
Right. Even when I was younger, I wasn't really into action movies. It's funny.
Yeah, well, that was just what I saw on TV. Like, it would just be Bourne. It would just be fucking Bourne Ultimatum whatever, like TBS or whatever, and I would just like, oh, this is sick. Or Italian Job.
Italian Job.
Like the newer one. Yeah.
It was like a Guy Ritchie movie. No, that's not Guy Ritchie. That's
Who's in that? Damon?
Italian Job? I thought it was that one guy, Chris Statham or something.
Statham is in it too. Yeah. I'm not remembering who else. But yeah, that one's a classic. I mean, obviously like Fight Club.
Yeah. Who you
Big Lebowski.
Besides movies, who you fucking with like music wise? Like, who do you listen to?
Ooh, man.
I got a lot of awesome people I'm listening to right now. Yeah.
I've been expanding, man. I listen to I've been recently listening to Kacey Musgraves. Do you know her?
I don't.
She's a country artist, but she has some pop, like country pop songs too, and then she has some more like country style music. I like folk, like pretty specific folk and country, but I do like it.
You gotta school me on some.
Yeah, I got you. Like if I put her on, like you'll be like, okay, I understand the appeal.
See, Hank Williams and like Roy Orbison are like as like folky country as I go.
What about Kenny Rogers?
That's like too new. I'm really old school.
No, he's old school.
Is Kenny Rogers old school?
Yeah,
that's
like
how much I don't
80s, know. Yeah, somewhere around there. Not.
I think you say the name Kenny Rogers, and I think it's some like young dude in like
like Rascal Flats or something.
Flats and like some tight ass jeans.
Yeah, dude, but yeah, no,
$5,000 Saint Laurent boots.
Yep, with the cowboy hat.
Yeah,
the big ass cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Let me think what else. I could have on my Spotify. New Vince Staples album, not brand new, but it's the newest one. There's these beats on there that got me. Right. Like the melodies are crazy. First listen, second listen, didn't like it.
No, I saw.
Third, fourth, fifth, sixth listen, I listened to it like I've been listening to it for the past 3 days.
Yeah.
Crazy how that happens too.
Right. I guess for me, I've been really like honing in on these two people. One is The Neighborhood. I've always been a fan of them.
Okay, I've listened to them before.
Yeah, they're really talented, and like I think that they have a lead singer, Jesse Rutherford, and he went on his whole solo thing, and he's created so much content within the past year.
Mm-hmm. What's his name again?
Jesse Rutherford.
Rutherford. Okay.
Yeah, he just goes by Jesse, but he's the lead singer in The Neighborhood. They released a 5-track EP with like hip hop, like Nipsey Hussle on it.
Oh, what?
Ghostface.
Nipsey, I've been getting into.
Ghostface is on it, and it's just like
Ghostface has been killing for how long now?
Yeah, forever, right? He's a legend.
Something years.
But yeah, he just like was really good at like getting these like old school like rappers and getting alternative rock and infusing that.
That's great. Awesome I love that stuff. That's like Bad Not Good.
Definitely check it out. That and this girl from Philly, Tierra Whack. I gotta give it to her.
I've
loved her music.
I've been seeing her too now.
She's melodic. She brings a whole new type of like song making to like it's almost like a different style. You know what I mean? It's not the same shit that everyone's doing.
That sounds up my alley, man. Yeah. I like to diversify like that. Yeah. I like to listen to abstract rappers too.
Right.
Because the norm is the norm. Like it's so easy to listen to that.
Right.
And I have to DJ that stuff, so I know them all anyway, like the back of my hand. So I'm not even trying to like in my spare time, like I'm just trying to listen to some weird shit. Like obviously like Brockhampton.
Brockhampton,
huge.
I was very late on Brockhampton, man, and like
Saturation too. I hopped on the train.
Yeah, I think you have a special guest.
Maybe. Man, now I gotta. It's the first time answering the door in a podcast. It's first for everything, right?
It's a first for everything. Who knows? It could be Mariah Carey. Is that Mariah Carey?
Is it?
Could be.
Oh. Yo, I'm doing a podcast, bro. Sorry. Hit me up later, alright? Sorry, well, I gotta hit this shit, bro.
Oh, did Mariah have to leave?
Yeah, Mariah had to leave. It was actually Dave East was here.
Oh my god.
Yeah, dude. I just hooked up with Fetty. And Dave East left his charger, so.
Oh, word, okay. It happens.
Yeah, dude. But shit. Anyway, talking about abstract artists or weird, different artists.
Yeah, man.
There's this guy named Dem Atlas. Have you ever heard of him?
Never.
Very weird guy from the South. Has some really interesting music that I found. I just follow him because it's weird. Let me think who else, man. There's some other weird shit. I almost want to pull up my Spotify and look.
Right. I mean.
Like just cheat real
That's
quick.
Where they all are. And there's another guy I've been listening to. I think a lot of people kind of starting to catch on him is this guy St. John. I think he's really talented. He does
John.
What's really cool about St. John is, see, this is like we were talking about earlier. It's like with St. John, he was writing a lot of music before he was who he is now. Like he's starting to like release music, almost like that Benny Blanco kid. You know Benny Blanco?
Oh yeah.
They spent so much time in the writing field doing that because maybe it was taking them a long time to get their actual like music out there. So they're like, you know what? I'm good at this. I'm gonna grab some checks and write for people who need the help that I have time for.
Yeah.
And he did that, and he did that for like a couple of years,
that's
probably like 8 years.
That's an awesome aspect.
Got some money, got the connections,
Man,
met some people,
like that,
and now he's releasing music, and people are loving everything he's doing. You know, and he wasn't just sitting back there 10 years ago being like, oh, I'm never gonna make it. Well, you can make it in other places that are music related and get you talking to the people that you need to talk to.
Yeah, and especially if you have value like that. Like
not everyone's ready.
No, not everyone's ready. Not everyone's ready all the time.
No, like you said,
everybody's ready at different times.
We were talking before we went on the pod. You were talking about this. You were like, a lot of people say they have these talents. Like, yo, dude, I can do this, this, and that. But like, all right, go on stage and do it right now. Yeah. And they're like, oh no, I'm not really ready for that. And
that was the hardest thing. That was the hardest thing for me, I think.
But
that's
okay. But that's okay. Accept that.
I'm saying that's beneficial that it's the hardest thing. Like it's supposed to be the hardest thing. It's supposed to be. And you're supposed to do the hardest thing.
Right. But go find something else that's going to make you more comfortable then.
Exactly.
It's within that same realm.
Which I think it's good that I got this job too, because I have to be in front of people. I have this is somebody.
So explain this to people, this new job of yours. It's you said you're DJing now?
Yeah, so I DJ'd for like a couple years, and with my friend. We had our own little business. He had all the equipment. I did like kind of, like 30% of the business, like just getting some gigs and being on the mic and, doing the whole DJ thing. Did Sweet 16s, did parties, quinceañeras, stuff like that back in high school. And so, we kind of like just slowed it down. We just weren't doing it as much anymore. But I loved it. Like I loved doing that stuff. Like I wasn't that good at it, but I still loved doing it.
Right.
And so it sucked, and I stopped. I had been a mechanic this whole time, so that's what I kept doing.
Two-stroke engines.
Two-stroke engines, baby. More like the 4 strokes, but a little bit. Sometimes you need a 2-stroker in there.
Right.
So I kept doing that, and then I got a call back from a DJ company that I applied to, and now I'm a party DJ. So we do all types of stuff.
How that works?
Yeah, and so now I can make enough money doing that on the weekends that I don't have to be a mechanic anymore. So I can have my days during the week to make music and go to school. Wow. And then so I kind of in time, everything works out. Like it's just time,
How do you find time in between school to do these kind of things? Like it's interesting. It's like you're doing a lot. You're doing production. You're making beats. You're making and recording music and all that kind of stuff.
I guess. Well, it's all about just how you structure your time. Like that's all I do. Like I have the same amount of time. I'm a business major. I really don't have that much work. Like I have homework, but I don't have homework like my roommate who's a science major or a nursing major. I don't have work like these people do. Like I don't have to study for 12 hours. I'll study for 4. So that helps me a lot. But also just scheduling time and knowing when to have free time and when not to. Like last semester I worked 30 hours a week, and then I had 12 credit hours. So like full-time school, 30 hours a week work, and then I was trying to make music doing that too and doing this. So I did less podcasts for sure because I was busy, but I would just come home after work and just chill for an hour and make a beat, and then on the weekend, Saturday, the whole day, just make music the whole day.
There you go.
And now my schedule's different because I need the weekends to go to work. So now, before my class, 3 hours, 2 hours, I'm making music,
Right.
And then when I come home, I'll do homework or something. Then I'll hit the gym, and then I'll come back and chill, So
that's good.
But
man.
just having the time every day to just hopefully do a little bit.
Self-control,
and then some days you're gonna get 3 hours in. Some days you're not gonna get any. Some days also structure as well. Morning routine as well.
Dude.
Everything is a reflection of everything. Bounces off of everything. So how you start your day affects how you end your day, and how it affects what you're doing in the middle. So I've been meditating every day. I've been reading. So I try to stay on some type of schedule. Get up, make breakfast, read, meditate. You just kind of like
I think
getting
it's
the structure.
important, like for people that do
end rant. That's my end rant.
Yeah, no. I think it's important that you almost essentially what you're saying is you have to be a good boss to yourself. You almost have to be almost like an asshole to yourself sometimes.
Dude, I talk shit to myself every day.
Yeah, man. You gotta celebrate yourself sometimes. Sometimes when I make a successful like beat or like or an episode of All in the Family, if I'm all alone or if I'm with a bunch of people, I just start clapping out of happiness. I try to just celebrate those moments to myself.
Make it real, yeah.
Make it real. I'm like, all right, dude, wow, you just did that.
Yeah,
sick.
That's crazy.
But an hour later, when you gotta sometimes be more disciplined, and then you gotta be like, all right, enough of that, dude. Go back to work.
Yeah, like
you know
all
I mean?
and
like,
not.
It's just not. You're not done. Like, yeah, nice.
Yeah, the hardest realization is that it never ends.
Yeah.
That's the thing, and it's only gonna get more intense. Like the more you do it, the more intense it can get. You can get better at doing all the things, but the intensity and the execution has to, and the productivity always has to increase. Right. So that's probably that's like the most difficult.
I just think you need to celebrate yourself so you remember what that feeling is like. So when you are down, you're like, that one time I was celebrating, dude. Like I gotta get to that now.
Yeah,
again.
and
like
doing what? Yeah, because then
it's like a little mini.
You
goal.
get off on that too. Like that's like that's your celebration, man. Like you did the work, you put this shit in, and you said I did something that nobody else did today. So
exactly,
and that's my own thing.
Right.
And if I didn't do that, I couldn't celebrate it.
Yeah.
And also
but when
reward,
you're
man.
And the thing is, when you're sitting on your ass, there's not much to celebrate.
Nope.
You know what I mean? So you gotta execution and self-control, man.
And
that's like the two things that are so
people
important.
always say, dude, you gotta be in the moment, man.
You gotta be in the moment.
Chill. And I abide by that. I think you have to be in the moment. And I 100%. Think that meditating has like really helped me do that because like you have the artist mind. Like same. I got rhymes going through this shit all day. And I gotta get them in, and like all these random like.
But so does everyone else.
So does everybody else. Yeah, and so that's what I tame. Like that's what I do to tame mine, so I can kind of just be in the moment a little bit more. And then the better I get, the more in the moment I can be.
Right.
Yeah, and then think logically. But then you also, I don't know, there's a service to those random thoughts. Like I pop up a little hook or something, like hook or a part of a verse or start a verse, So yeah, so balance, self-control, execution. I think that's it. Because balance, that goes hand in hand with the celebration.
Like well, we need three. So I can go with balance.
Yeah, balance, self-control, execution.
I love
it. That's it. Yeah.
Love it.
Damn, that's awesome. We're gonna make we're gonna make a Bop Links version.
Yeah. But yeah, man. So that's life these days,
Yeah, that's awesome though, man. Like I'm glad you hopped on here so people can hear who you are, and like also because I talk about you all the time on the post or with the music. Like people kind of they see your page and they know you're from ground up, but they don't like know who you are. So like that's
what's up. Well, thank you, man.
Anytime.
This is what's cool about this is like when I went into it, I remember asking, I was like, dude, is it gonna be like interview bait? Is it interview style?
That makes it so awkward, man.
But you're like, no, it's just a conversation. So I was like, if I want to talk about two-stroke engines, I can.
Then we can, man.
I was like, really?
We could talk about four-strokes
I was like, we just talked about that for so long. But yeah, man. Yeah, there's just so much coming up this year. I gotta buy like a lot of remote control cars. I need to buy.
Is that's the biggest?
That's like my
thing. Yeah.
Biggest.
Well, that's
thing
your
right
set
now.
too
That's my
for the
set.
show.
It's for the show. It's for everything. I'm noticing that like it's really easy for me to make content with remote control cars and these little things.
It's mini scale. Like I feel like everything is just scaled down, right? Like,
and it's just like there's so many things. Like I want to get a dollhouse. My Amazon wish list is really funny. Like if I went on my phone right now and went through my Amazon wish list,
you can if you want, man.
I have.
You give us a little taste of the wish list.
I wonder if I'm logged in right now. I hope I am, so it's not a difficult thing to access. I think I'm in there. My wish. Okay, I got 10-channel remote dump truck, toy for kids. Blue ribbon balloon tying disposable helium tank. I got some balloons on there. Some very interesting things.
Disposable helium tank.
And then I have a bunch of I've been shopping for hunting gear lately.
You like the camo life?
Well, it's almost for it's for like a music video that I want to make. I just get everything. Amazon's it's just amazing for especially for artists. Like,
Bezos.
Let me tell you that.
Sponsor
in Walmart,
me, buddy.
I go to Walmart. I have a 24-hour Walmart in Philly, so you can go there like 3 in the morning.
Yeah, man, I had one back home.
Oh, dude, I got some really awesome action figures on here. I got the real list up. A dollhouse Victorian sofa. So I got this doll. It's a Victorian sofa that's like a scale this big.
I might
like
even
really
be able to like
looking.
pull up a picture of it.
A WWE SmackDown live main event ring. They have these
like a mini one, or
it's a mini WWF ring. So I was like, you know what? It'd be really cool if I like made my own WWF scene. Because I thought it'd be really cool. Because they're always so funny to me. It's almost it's like theater. You know what I mean?
It's acting and
it's acting,
and theater,
it's
and it's a show. It's entertainment.
It's a show. It's an entertainment. I was like, you know what? I can really turn this around. I think. I got some buck deer head wall bust hanging. Oh, these really cool pictures.
A deer head to put
head.
On the wall?
Actually,
a fake one?
Is, do you have access to a real one?
I mean, I have a real one. I might sell it. Actually, where is it?
Wow, that's amazing.
Let me think.
I got some really
if not, I could probably get one.
Halloween
if you want to
costumes.
I mean, back home, man, everybody.
I need it for a music video that I'm making, and
you just want to use it?
Well, the thing is, in the music video, I needed a real deer, and it needed to be dead. And the thing is, I couldn't do it, but like there's so many dead deer around. I don't even know why I'm. I was like, you know, you just use maybe like a dead deer that's on the side of the road, but like I don't think I could do that. I don't have the guts, but
so I was like, not messed up that bad.
So I was thinking,
sling it over your shoulder.
I guess I can get like I can fake a deer.
It's gonna smell up the mini though. I'll tell you that. Yeah, it's gonna smell up the mini.
I don't think I can do it.
No.
Maybe I'll hire Dominic to do it or something.
You get a fake deer. That
that's
kind of
what
looks real.
And out on my Amazon, that's why I pass. That's why I have all these weird little deer things on here. I'm just like, oh, where is this going? But yeah, I got Halloween costumes on here.
See, that's the type of shit that you tell me all this stuff that you're like looking to get, and I have no idea how it's all gonna come to get, like what you're gonna use any of them for. Like I just know what they are.
That's why.
And then I see the video, I'm like, oh man, like that was I wasn't even expecting that.
When I get mail at the house, man, you never know what's gonna be in that box.
No, it could be.
It's great.
Like
it's such a surprise. I ordered a bow and arrow set the other day, a kid's bow and arrow set.
Like does it have like a tip or?
It has a tip, but they're rubber tips. But the cool thing about it is
I used to have those.
I set up these balloons and with helium in them.
Ooh, can you get them?
And I try to hit the balloons.
Do they pop
arrows. Sometimes.
Yeah.
Not all the time they don't pop, but they pop. If you get it hard enough, it will pop.
That's awesome.
I have fun doing that. Yeah, just try to that's my execute. Go buy bow and arrows from Amazon.
Go buy a bow and arrow set.
Comes in 2 days.
yeah, man. Amazon Prime on that delivery.
I know a lot of Amazon's helping a lot of people out right now, probably in good
and hurting a lot of people too.
And yeah, I was just gonna say good and bad ways. It's crazy, but.
Yeah, but it's also allowing people to build allowing you to do, like if you were trying to do what you're doing.
Definitely got these on Amazon.
Everything.
Wow, dude.
Except this adapter is from Best Buy. Other than that, everything's Amazon.
Fucking Amazon.
All that shit. Yeah.
Wow, unbelievable.
Hey, man, I can't. What else am I gonna do? You know, go to a store. I get it shipped to the crib.
A store.
Okay, what?
Wow.
I'm not about that anymore. They're going down, man. They're going down. Unfortunately, not all of them, but a lot of them are.
Right.
And they're gonna get replaced by either better stores or online, or stores that are online and in store.
Yeah.
Because like, what if there was just an Amazon store and you can just go in and buy that set of arrows for the same price as it is on Amazon? Like, people would go do that, I think.
Right. I mean. It's crazy, man. I just hope people once they can order a gun online, then we're really in trouble.
Yeah, or they can order a 3D print out of a gun and then just buy a 3D printer and make one.
At one point, it's gonna be the only thing we can go to a store and buy is a gun, and everything else you get delivered.
Yeah, get it delivered, but it's gonna be like drone mail though. So
drone mail.
I think a lot of cities we're ready to ban that though.
The drone mail?
Yeah, that's too sketchy for me too. I don't think I'd approve of that. I don't want things just flying around over my head. And
I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like it like in some locations it could be okay, but not like everywhere.
Remote locations I can see, like out in the woods and stuff. But I don't know, like suburban or city.
Yeah. I worry about like birds and animals and stuff.
Exactly,
like,
that too.
They're gonna get run into that shit. You need to start seeing like birds. People are gonna start posting videos on YouTube of birds flying in the drones. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, no, it's coming,
stupid.
dude. There's gonna be like huge ones, like helicopter sized ones, they're gonna replace
packages dropping on people's heads.
Exactly. People are gonna be like trying to hack into the Amazon drone center and like so they can control them all, and that'll be another movie that comes out in 5 years. And
it'll be another movie.
Call it a wrap or a Beach Link special, possibly.
Yeah, right.
But so, what is the base? What inspired you to do All in the Family, and what is it about? Like coming back to that. That just reminded me.
So All in the Family is what inspired it was like I said, just kind of like these ideas that's coming to my mind, being like, I want to make a scene of something, and just kind of just telling myself that you can't do that. You don't make movies. And I was like, you know what? I can make a movie. I'll make one with action figures. So I actually to make the mouths move on the Family. I actually use an app on my phone that is used to make it look like your dog or pet is talking.
Oh wow! You use an app, type of app,
it's
but
an animal app that I use to do that, and I take it behind a green screen, do the dialogue there, and then I arrange it on a video app on my iPhone.
So do you do the whole thing on your phone?
I do. And All in the Family was just inspired by, I like mafia movies.
You're really creative with that on the phone, though. Like, you do some stuff on the phone, with the phone that I'm like, I don't even know.
My whole thing with the phone is, man, we pay, when I just got this X, and it was like $1,200 at the store, but you do that thing, you pay monthly, and I'm like, holy shit.
2-year contract, whatever.
I was like, dude, this thing's $1,200. I was like, my laptop's like almost that.
Yeah.
And I was like,
more than that. Yeah,
I'm not gonna use this just to FaceTime, text, and call. This has a really dope camera on it and all this stuff. I was like, you can actually
has
make
everything.
Guys, this is $1,200 in your pocket.
That's it.
Like,
that's why my friend who makes beats on the phone, I'm like, I don't get. They're sick. Like the phone will make a perfect wave file for you. You can master on it. He sends all the stems with it. Like
dude, I'm telling
crazy,
you, if you paid $1,200 for freaking a cup, you would never fucking lose it.
There's great artists who only make music with their phones too.
Like, this thing's $1,200. Embrace that.
Use it.
Yeah. Use that $1,200. So like, I got this app. It's like awesome. You pay $30 for it, and I got my animal pet app. And I just sit and I make these movies all on here.
What's the $30 app? A video app?
Yeah, it's called like Video Leap or something like that.
Cool.
And it's just really useful because it does layering and all that kind of stuff.
That's
you
nice.
can do good stuff on it. But what's cool about this whole series is that like it was inspired off of just like pretty much like my love for like mafia movies and just like kind of like that whole family vibe of like the family making it, you know what I mean? But the shit happens when there's family involved, you know what I mean?
It's like a mini mafia series.
Yeah, a little mini mafia series. But like, I don't know. I get a lot of my inspiration from like my favorite director, Woody Allen. He's like my number one go-to director. I mean, I know he's been like accused of some really weird stuff.
Doesn't take away from his.
It kind of does. It's like in these days, like. You have something weird going on, it like changes everyone's whole view on you. And I understand that.
Backlash, outrage culture.
Backlashes, but I grew up on the guy and I didn't know that stuff, so I can't just erase that from my head. He really inspired me because he was kind of like a something out of nothing guy too. Like he would find things and make movies out of it. And like he has this one movie called What's Up, Tiger Lily, and that was his first movie he's ever made. And the movie was actually a Japanese film, and he took out all of the dialogue, and he wrote his own subtitles and redubbed the whole thing and made it about a guy who's in search for a macaroni salad recipe that got stolen. So he's out to search for the secret like macaroni salad recipe, and he dubbed it and did it on a Chinese film.
Is it good?
It's amazing. And then the thing is, it's cool. It's good because of the idea. and like he
and
wasn't
the execution too.
The execution,
like nobody told him he could do that.
He wasn't worried about like he didn't need a camera crew to do it. He literally just got the movie itself and rewrote it in a really funny way.
Dubbed it, got people to
dubbed
do a
it,
voice.
and got people to do voiceovers. And that's kind of like what I'm doing with All in the Family. I'm like, all right, I got these action figures. I got this app that makes it look like something's talking. And I can just use that to tell a story.
You're going to learn the dynamics through that. Too.
It is funny because going into this thing, I went into it very like the spontaneity was like very quick. I was like, I'm making it. And now like going into it, I'm learning more and more and more about like even like green screen and like what's required
and like storytelling
and
too,
storytelling and
because
like writing
you have
these
to hold
scenes.
that suspense. There has to be
well,
something
funny
happen
thing
every
is,
episode.
It's you gotta really appreciate Netflix and like HBO and all these shows that they put out, because to be able to get something and milk it for so long is like a talent, dude. That's like what I'm learning out of this. It's like I have the ending already, but I gotta like work in mini subplots and all these kind of things to make that ending a little bit better and not come so soon, you know?
Yeah, and so you can kind of elongate it and have more of a storyline.
Exactly.
To build.
I'm learning that, but it's in a very simple way. I'm learning very simply. I like
just as you go, right? Like
written,
actively,
directed, produced,
shot,
edited, all by Beej Links. So like that's what I'm doing.
Did you do that intro song or the song that's like on the advertisement for it?
It's half. Sometimes I go on YouTube and I'll search like Italian mobster theme song or something. Because
it
or it'll be something cool or like some like cool artist I like, and then other stuff I'll maybe like pull off on my computer and like actually like use it.
You probably got some like shit in the vault, like
I do. It's like a lot of stuff, and I'm just like, oh my god, I'm so happy I have that. You know what I mean? So like I'm finding uses for like old stuff, and pretty much trying to build stories. I just like creating things, as cliches as sound. I love making shit, man. Like especially out of nothing. You know what I mean? Just give me something, I'll do something with it.
Yeah,
I like scraps.
That's probably the talent more than the skill, I'd say, and with the creativity. I think that's more, the skill is the application.
Right.
And the skill is can you do this EQ?
Right.
But the talent is, can you make the vocals?
Right.
To use the EQ on.
Right.
That's the difference.
And another idea I had, I wanted to do was, after All in the Family, I kind of want to start working with like household products and start like personifying them. Because like the other day I went out and bought like those Febreze air fresheners that you spray.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Makes your room smell good.
Yep.
And as I was spraying, I saw these candles on my desk, and I was like, you know what? I bet you these candles really hate the fact that I'm spraying. So I was like, you know what? I kind of want to make a mini series of the battle between the candles being really jealous of the new spray things, and they kind of start
What's
like rebelling.
What's the movie like that with the food? What's the movie with the
you're right. Is it like Sausage Party maybe?
Sausage Party.
That was a really good movie. I really enjoyed that movie.
It was great. It was great.
I think the guys at South Park made that, didn't they?
Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen made it. That's what it was. Maybe not the South Park guy. Seth Rogen made that. That was a genius movie.
It was. I saw it in theaters. That's so worth it. Worth it.
Toy Story, huge inspiration. Mr. Rogers, one of my biggest inspirations as a kid. Like watching Mr. Rogers come out with like
me too, man.
King Friday and all that stuff. He's like he had such an imagination, and I can relate to these people because I was like, nothing stops them. They have like these things. Cause I feel bad for things like not candles and Febreze fresheners, but I'm just saying, like, I feel bad for people that see things from a distance and are like, damn, like I just, that's not me anymore. Candles aren't cool anymore. It's like the Febreze. And I like that.
That's a cool back and forth.
I want to touch on that, and that's what I think about.
Expand on it.
When I was spraying it, I was like, damn.
Personify it.
Candles must really hate fucking Febreze. But
that's like gas cars. Like you could do one with a gas car, and he's talking to the gas car next to him, and then there's like a Tesla behind him.
You got me.
And he's like, "Yeah, look at this asshole! Like, brand new.
Yeah.
Look at that."
Anything I can personify. Actually, it's funny. I think it's in Blue's Clues. When I was younger, I used to watch this thing called Blue's Clues.
Oh, me too. Yeah.
Freaking cool. The guy went around with a pad, found 3 things that led to something. You know.
Yeah.
But all the characters on that show were like animated and like Mr. Salt, Miss Pepper. They had Paprika. Like the dude decided to animate Paprika. It's like the coolest name, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like the options that you have for that character is like you can make somebody.
The guy was a freaking creep, the actual human in the show, but like fucking the other characters that they casted or just made is really dope. Paprika, dude. Like I thought that was really cool, and the little blue dog, you know.
So that's like a lot of inspiration from all those different angles.
Yeah, I really enjoy
because you make inanimate objects talk. So I mean, they're still people, like they're still figures, but you know, still an object.
Right.
So the next thing after that is saying fuck the people. Let's get some. Let's get some candles versus the Febreze in here.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I think what's next is, and hopefully in the future, just working with actual people.
Yeah, is that the ultimate goal?
For now, I'm stuck with action figures, remote control cars, and Febreze and candles.
Yeah, but and people aren't even doing that though, so that's your own thing.
So that's my cast right now.
I love watching your stories, man, because I just don't know what I'm gonna get. I don't know if it's gonna be a race. It could be
anything.
It could be like now hiring. It could be just a truck with the bees links on the side, like
right.
So, but yeah, if you're looking for interns, I mean, no, man, I'm trying to get an internship.
Nice,
this
I like
summer.
that. I've gotten a couple people reach out to me on Instagram like, yeah, I want to help write the show All in the Family. I'm like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
People like have ideas or they're sending me them. They're like, well, what about if Dominic does this, and that? I'm like, wow, this is really getting people thinking. And it's getting people like really involved.
I know Miller did. Like you saw his comment. Like,
dude, yeah.
He was like, I think this is gonna happen. And that's Dominic took the money or whatever. I was like, damn, Miller's in, man. Like
Miller is in.
Yeah, but he's always in. So.
But yeah, I'm just happy that people are taking something from it, and they're cool with it. So it's making me happy. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, that's good, man. That's all that matters, man. Yeah. You enjoy making it. People like watching it.
I like podcasts, though, man. This is cool. Like I like this. You know,
I fucking love this shit,
sometime in my life, I gotta do some kind of talking thing. But for now, it's
You would have a couch for sure. You would have a couch.
Mm-hmm.
You would have somebody on. It would be like. There'll be funny little segments in it too, like there would be like music shorts and like I completely have the vision for that like in my head. Like you definitely could do something like that.
That's sick. Thanks.
Because it would be in your place too, so it would be Beeslink style. Yeah, man. But yeah, I think this is the future. Honestly, who knows? 5 years down the line, like people might be really like people watch podcasts. You know, it's like $100 million business already.
Yeah.
You know, and the whole thing. So. That's it. Who knows in the future?
100%, man. I feel
Put out the content. Make the content. It's easy. It's simple. Do it on your phone.
Right.
I do it on my phone too.
Right.
Yeah, and just get the thoughts out there.
Right.
Because a lot of people can't even do that.
No.
They don't even want to record themselves on an Instagram video. So.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, if you can, why not? Right.
Right. Well, there's $1,200 phone sitting right there. You can do, and you can even run a business off your phone. It's unbelievable. Yeah. It's the coolest,
I mean, you kind of like you can run your business off your phone, basically,
thing,
right?
You know, I sound like an old dude right now. It's just so cool. I'm like, yeah, you can really run businesses on phones.
People make millions on the phone.
It's dope.
Millions on the phone.
Dope.
Yeah. It's 21st century out here.
Tech money. Yeah.
No Country for Old Men is a good movie. I agree, buddy. I hope you're still watching, man.
Oh, you got some comments?
I had one. He said No Country for Old Men is a good movie.
It's a really good
movie. I agree. That's Jack. Oh, no. Is that? I don't know. His name's Jack. It could be Jack Gallagher. I don't think it is. Some random guy named Jack. Thank you, buddy. Thank you for that. What I have to do is get my old phone, get a stream of this, set the old phone in front of it for Instagram.
There you go. Yeah.
That's it. And just put it in my room so it doesn't interfere. That's what I'm trying next time.
More cameras.
So we got ideas for the next ones too. I'm always trying to develop something else, some different aspect.
Right.
I'd like to do one like outside I don't know, like travel around.
Yeah, dude.
Bring the setup with me. It's
maybe
a light
next
setup.
time we'll make it like a jam session.
Oh yeah, that would be cool too. Yeah, we can use this. We can get this whole corner because we're trying to, like I said, build a creative space out here. So that would be cool. Maybe we'll get a sesh.
Right.
That would just maybe like just put some music together on the spot.
Yeah, man.
Just get the fucking wide view.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the creation. That's huge.
Yeah, man.
So I wanted to ask you about Ground Up too, because I think people want to actually, like, that's why people know you. That's people that know you through me, or the people that knew you before we worked together knew you from Ground Up. So
100%.
Like what was where did you start? Like, who did you start it with, and then how did you get it to where it got to?
Ground Up, it was just like, it was more of like a great friendship at first. You know what I mean? It wasn't even really like a music group. We were just a bunch of guys who lived in Philadelphia in Temple campus, and we all met. Some of the people that are in Ground Up, I went to high school with. You know what I mean?
Back
some
in the
people
day.
Back in the day, and some people are people that I met in Temple. But it was just the accumulation of friends, just getting along and like respecting each other's dreams and encouraging each other to do what we love to do, which is make music.
That's awesome.
So it was very like a simple start. It was really nothing.
It's organic.
Nothing complex, man. It wasn't like we were like searching for anything. We just did it because I was into music. I made beats. My friend Alexander Charles, he rapped his whole life. You know what I mean? So
Azar, I guess.
We were all just going to school, just like you are right now. Like literally going to school, going to class, coming home, working on music, and then doing all the jobs that we have to do, and then the same thing every day. You know what I mean? And eventually we started to take it a little more seriously, because we were like, there's money involved. People want to have us throw parties at their house.
How'd you get to the point where, like, how'd you build it up? Was it the music videos on YouTube, or was it just releasing music, or how'd you get like people to find you and follow you? Was it college was a big facilitator, or?
I would say that I think it's the term for guerrilla marketing. We were very like aggressive with that, and we printed CDs at our house. We were doing what everyone's doing nowadays.
Back
literally 10 years ago, but we didn't have a platform like Instagram to really show it. We
that's
had
why
Facebook
that's
and
why I
MySpace.
ask you that, because that's what I'm curious
Exactly. So we were out on our feet, man. We would go to Penn State, Temple, all these crazy colleges that are local, the tri-state area, and really like push this stuff. You know what I mean? Have people out there that we're friends with pass out CDs for us. Almost like getting friends involved. You know what I mean? Like everyone was like just like happy to help and like
that's awesome
and have a part in something, and we were all just having fun doing it. It really wasn't. That's why I said like I wish back then someone told me that like, yo, while you're doing this, you could be making beats for a commercial or something. But
that like, other side of it that you didn't
side
have
of
the
it, I didn't know.
To know yet.
We were just so in our own business, you know.
But that's still good though, because you were completely invested in it.
That's great, but to me, like, if you want to be a professional at this, it's not all about you. You know what I mean? Sometimes.
No, it's all about the people around you too.
Around you, and the people that you can be working with, and the potentials.
So you were in Philly at Temple. You were spreading the word around, getting CDs out.
Yeah, throwing parties. Yeah. Just being on the streets.
And you were on the You were the beats.
The beats. Yeah.
And then Al was rapping, and then
Malcolm was also
Malcolm,
an MC.
okay, yeah.
And the thing with Ground Up is that like we it was besides like the guerrilla marketing, man, it was like almost like our catalog was like unstoppable. We just, after a mixtape was done, we just make another one and just make another one.
The music was killer.
It was very easy for us.
The music was killer. Like your beats were everything, really. Like the whole thing put together.
Thanks.
Because I know that was like, that's how I know you. Like Miller said, hey, I followed this guy on Instagram, Beach Links, like he was producer for Ground Up, I think, and you should hit him up and see what happens. Or like whatever, just told me about you, and then I sent the message. And so that's crazy, man. Like that's how it came about. Is because of that.
How it works. It's interesting. Like we went full circle again, and now here we are again.
Yeah, and now here we are doing a podcast. Yeah,
love it, man. So
it's evolution.
That's the one thing for like this whole like generation. I think it's important to preach is to support the people around you. Like everyone's like, oh, fuck corporate, all this, but like if you really want to do that, like wear the clothes your friends make, like eat the food your friends make. You know what I mean? Don't go out to dinner. Call a friend and invite them over for dinner. Like and make dinner. Don't go out. Like if you want to like really beat the corporate things and all that stuff, like support your friends. Like, I love to wear clothes now that I know enough people right now where I can wear a sweatshirt or a t-shirt every day that's not bought at a store but made from like a friend that has a clothing company. It custom, yeah. Exactly, or something that I've made. I think it's really important to do that. Like, don't forget, before I leave, I'm buying one of your t-shirts.
Oh, thanks, man.
That's what I'm saying, because I need to buy one of his t-shirts because I want to wear stuff that my friends make and the people that I know make.
And like, yeah, I bought one of your shirts too because nobody makes that shirt.
Obviously,
I can't get that shirt anywhere.
Obviously, I can't buy paper towels from a friend. I can't go do that. Yeah, well, you gotta go to a store and buy paper towels. You know what I'm saying? But the things like the dinner and calling your friends and the clothing and like
just support what the people around you make because they're putting in the work. Like, they're doing it all, start to finish.
And I know people that make like essential oils. Buy some essential oils from a friend instead of going to buy some cologne.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, somebody who has a CBD company. You're gonna buy the CBD online anyway. Buy it from them.
Everyone that you know someone that has a CBD company. It's
I actually do, and I need to talk to them. I don't think they're watching, but I need to talk to them. We need to get some sponsors going.
Yeah.
But sponsor your friend's CBD company. Yes. You know, if you have a platform, even if, like, I have a platform that's small, but either way, like, I still shout all my boys out who rap. Right. I still shout everybody out, you know?
Keep it in the family.
Keep it in the family, yeah.
Support your friends. Mm-hmm. Support everyone like that.
Execution, balance, self-control.
Support your parents,
that's over the umbrella is keep it in the family.
Dude, like.
That's it.
Yeah, support everyone, you know?
Yeah, and don't support the people who don't deserve it. Like, don't just know who puts in the work and who doesn't. Mm-hmm. Like, as you go along, you start to realize the people that you work with and the people who you're around, like, you start to realize how much value they really have, you know, and how much pull they really have. And people put on a facade sometimes. Or it could be the most least unsuspecting person. They have the most value for you.
Right,
you just won't know. Like, I've been preaching too, almost, that, like, not burning bridges, like, just letting people be, like, just let people go, just go ghost, like, just let people be silent for a while. Like, you don't have to, like, end a friendship. Like, you can just let it go. Like, you just not talk to them, because who knows, like, in years they might be CEO of a huge company and you need them for some marketing or something. Like, you don't know who people are gonna be.
Right. Yeah. Well, you want to keep people around you because you enjoy them. That's, you enjoy their company.
Yeah.
And that's the most important thing.
But it's so good to keep, like, I think it's easy to keep the people who you're not so close with, just keep them where they're at. Like, you don't have to just go out like
friends with everybody.
Yeah, like, hey, shit, I know that they're doing a pyramid scheme on Instagram.
I definitely have people that I know I can't hang out with.
No, you can't. You got to keep them there. I mean? But shit, you got a pyramid scheme on Instagram. It's like, I know you're not a bad person.
100%.
Like, I know you're not a bad person. It's fine. I'll just let you be. Like, I might unfollow you, but I'm still cool with you. You hit me up, I'll reply.
Yeah, that's like one thing I'm really battling these days. I don't know how to take it, but like, I feel like everyone's kind of like almost like with politics being where they are, with like side choosing and stuff. It's really tough. A lot of people like are,
it's tribalism.
Yeah, but I like to stay out of those things. Like, it's just important that we all at least respect each other and have some self-control, because that helps out everybody and fucking, the whole thing. And
man, if I could come back for a second, so after you're so you're still in college, you guys are killing it with Ground Up. You're doing colleges, you're getting the word out, you got everything going on.
Right.
Like, was there, like, a point where it, like, started to kind of, like, take off a little bit?
Yeah, and it when it takes off, it's like, that's when you start taking it seriously and you start overanalyzing everything, and you're like, oh my god, it's just cool, because I have friends, like, most of my friends that, like, were in college at the time, going on tour. Like, I remember my friend Alex, man, he'd be in the green room typing up essays before he goes out on stage.
Wow.
Man.
Yeah.
And it was really inspiring to be around friends like that. I was like, oh my god, it really is, like,
this is crazy.
There's no stopping us, dude.
No.
Like, just because we have to be on tour right now doesn't mean we're gonna do bad in school.
No.
You know what I mean? We're gonna kill it. You know what I mean? So, like, we, like, and when it becomes serious, you just gotta learn that, like, just because, like, a lot of people are like, oh, well, I'm touring now, I can just get tattoos and, like, fucking just
I made it.
Be me. I
made it.
You know what I mean? It's just like, no, you got to really still hold on to the things that make life. Education, knowledge, and like learning and being
pursuit
patient.
of it. Yeah.
Being patient. There's a lot of money to be made in the music industry. It's a little hard to get because it's a culture not everyone's really used to.
It's kind of cutthroat too.
Mm-hmm. It's all about who you know, that whole thing. But like when things start taking off, you really don't feel it. You kind of just
roll with it.
You roll with it, and you just start taking things more seriously. You start dedicating time for things, but with still being the fact that you gotta manage yourself. We started to be like, oh my, we have to really start managing our like day to days now. Like this is
and like
serious.
scheduling and
like,
so. Did you go on a tour just you guys or what?
Oh yeah, we went on like a couple tours, man. And they were all fun, you know. And we did one headlining tour. That was a very interesting adventure.
Did you manage yourselves for that?
Yeah, we have our manager Frank.
Frank, he was there.
He's our manager, man.
Cool.
Him and my other manager John. They pretty much worked that whole tour, and booked every show.
That's awesome.
I mean, doing everything yourself these days, nothing bad about it. You know what I mean? So
I mean, you have the control.
Yeah.
If you do it yourself, that's the problem with outsourcing anything, right? You lose control. You have more time on your side, but
finding people that are gonna do these things for you, man. It's hard. Not everyone has that, and I know it's a struggle for a lot of artists. They're like, dude, I don't have a best friend that can manage me and really believes in me and all this stuff. Like, drop everything in their life for this path.
And also, that's the thing, because you got to believe in yourself that much for somebody else to believe in you, because the manager almost has to believe in you more, because they have to make money too. Man. So they have to believe you're going to make them money. So if you don't believe you're going to make money yourself, then how are they going to believe that they can make money with you? Right. And not saying it's all about money, that's just one aspect of it. Or money, stardom, fame, like reach, anything like that, It's the same concept. Exactly. So you guys were in a position where you kind of had it you had it in-house, and you didn't have to worry about like any external outside forces. Right. And I bet you've met a ton of people along the way.
Yeah, man.
I can't imagine.
That's an important thing. Find a good booking agent. Someone's going to put you on tour, man. That's important. But you also have to pull up the numbers yourself. That's all these guys in the industry care about, your numbers. It's a numbers game at this point.
Yeah, I feel like it was probably transitioning to that when you guys were going.
It's crazy. It's like the whole that's what I'm saying, like these Instagram, Facebook, they're just tools. Yeah. We moved during that we moved on to a whole new tools from Facebook to Instagram. They're just a different tool. Yeah. But still, I'm still doing what I do, and regardless of what platform comes out, cool, I'll have that platform, but I still have to talk to people, sell my music, do all those kind of things with whatever I got.
Word of mouth, I think, is still the most important. Because
building relationships.
I honestly, really since I've moved here and went to this school, most of the new followers that I have, I've just met. Most of the new people who listen to my stuff is just people I've met. Right. And some of them I met and they don't listen to it. They don't care. That's fine. Right. But a lot of them, they just know me. I know them personally, which is crazy because it adds up to a lot of people sometimes. Yeah, man. But yeah, but people put, coming back to it, people put all this value in social media and Instagram and think it's the end-all be-all, when it's I've gotten more people to fuck with my music in person than anything else, really. Right. Than online social media.
Just showing them.
Just personal. If you can make it personal, that's it. And people can connect to it. Because they can't necessarily connect to your rap video, my rap video, over somebody else's rap video. Right. It's the same. We're both doing the same thing. But in person, you can be yourself. You can use your personality to sell. That's what I do. Right. I try to use my personality to be cool with people and for them to know me. Right. Vice versa. Right. Because that's the biggest advertisement for yourself is that and reputation. I mean, reputation is everything.
Really is, man.
Especially over years. When you're young, it's not. You don't have one yet. But
well, it's funny with reputation because even with Instagram these days, what drives me nuts is the people buying followers is just it's funny. It's once you have 100,000 followers and you buy followers, what's an extra 50? That really doesn't matter. I know people who are up there
for the ego.
For the ego that. Yeah. But people that are just starting out that buy followers, I don't get it because I don't understand how people what happens when someone hires you for something because they saw you had 10,000 followers, but you're not even able to execute their plan. When you to be oh well, I promise you do this with me and 10,000 people will buy it. And it's like, no, that's not going to happen.
How the numbers reflect.
How do you live with that? Like, you know
also,
what I mean?
Yeah, and also you're selling yourself out before anybody else has the
before
power
anything
to.
ever happens.
Yeah, before
you know what I mean?
Somebody comes and wants to sign you to a deal and sell you out, you're selling yourself out.
It's almost like,
because we both know the people who do it, and the rappers and singers that do it, and like, shit, man, people know. It's obvious. If you have 10,000 followers, but you get 300 likes on a picture,
guys.
Yeah.
You book the show and no one's there.
Yeah.
And you're just like, oh my God, I just got.
Yep.
You know what I mean? I feel like that's happening. And it's just like, it's dangerous because it's just like, the people that are doing it think it's okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to do a show in New York that, like, I got booked for one in New York, and the guy was like, well, like, I don't know. I was like, listen, man, I live 2 hours away. Like, I'm not going to be able to get all my people there. If it was in Jersey, I can get, like, a small crowd of people, but... And, like, I didn't end up doing the show just because, like, both of us were, I'm on my end going, like, listen, I just can't do this for you. And he's like, man, like, I completely get it. I support you. Like, no problem. Like,
but that's okay. Just because no one's there, that's okay. You're going to do shows.
No, but
no
I'm not,
there.
like,
you know what I mean?
if I botted my followers and told this guy, I have 5,000 followers, I can get 1,000 people there easy.
Right.
Like, and I botted all of them, and I was just lying to him, he would have told me, okay, let's do it.
Right.
And we would have done it, and he would have said, what the hell is this?
What the hell is happening? I thought
that's what you're saying. People can do that. They do that. Yeah. And I wouldn't I was real with the guy. I'm like, listen, man, like, that's just he's like, I can't believe you don't have that many because your music, like, reflects.
Even if people don't do that and execute, like, these fake deals or whatever, these gigs.
Fake followers.
It's just funny because I just don't understand how a brand like that works because it's just like, you need,
but that's the short term.
You need people.
These are not patient people, obviously.
I think what's important is for anyone who has like little amount of followers or a large amount of followers is work with the army that you got. If you got 50,000, if you got 50 followers, and you can make them happy in some way and take something from what you're doing with them, that's great. Like, manage those 50 people. But if you can't do that alone, like, you don't deserve 10,000 followers.
No,
you know
and
I mean? Like,
you're only there. Your
got.
Goal should be to only convince the people who are already convinced.
Yeah.
The people who, if you need to persuade somebody to follow you, you're doing it wrong. Right. They don't want to follow you. Right. So the people who are going to naturally come across your stuff and be like, I recognize talent in this person, I like their music, I'm going to follow them. Right. That's the people you want. Other than that, somebody who's on the fence, you don't want them as a follower anyway. They're not going to comment. They're not going to like your stuff. Like,
and it's important.
Why would you even want them?
And people get like all caught up because maybe like a post doesn't get as many likes as another.
Oh, and they'll
post.
take it down in 10 minutes too.
But the thing is, those things are important to embrace those moments because that's how like what makes the difference between like if a magazine got published, they can't just like, oh, we're gonna pull that movie or that magazine, let's take it off. No, it's out there, it's done. Like if you can just embrace the fact that what you do, it's official, it's out there. Like, stop trying to change it. Stop trying to manipulate people that you only do good things because that's not honest. You know what I mean? People want honesty. You know what I mean? I think people enjoy sometimes scrolling down and they see that it didn't get that many likes. They're like, oh, cool. But at least he really liked it.
Yeah, but also
that's who he is.
It's blame on the people who aren't liking it. It's like, no, that's a reflection on you. This post didn't do good because you can blame the fucking algorithm and all this shit. Exactly. Why don't you make a better post? Like that's what I think. I'm like, this post didn't do that well. 100% maybe a lot of people didn't see it. On the other hand, maybe it's just not that good.
Yeah, maybe the headlining art.
You can look, it tells
the headline
you
story
numbers.
Didn't do that well. People didn't like it.
It tells you both numbers
too. The next one will do better.
If you have a business account, it tells you how many people looked at it and then to the like ratio.
Right.
If it didn't get that many, could be it's probably on you, man. I like that. It's the same thing. Comes back to self-control, man. Like
so important.
And awareness, self-awareness.
Just embrace it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Just
embrace the fact that you're just doing something and not that many people like it.
Yeah,
so
engage your own people. Engage the people who are already convinced, who already like you. Like I had the most engagement when I did, for a couple days, I had people suggest tracks for me to like do a rap over, like a remix to. Mm-hmm. And that was like the most messages I've ever got for anything. I had people hit me up all day, do this track. Hey, like, I think this will be a good one. Here, I'll find a better one. And then, like, people just going out and doing all the work. Like, shit, I don't need to do nothing.
Right,
like,
right.
Let me chill. But using those people, I had, like, my shit didn't get looked at anything close to that before. But since I got people engaged, right, that's it. That's what I'm finding with being on stage, too, and also being, like, a DJ is, like, if you can make people feel something, and that's when they're gonna like. I can't, if I'm standing there, hey, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you, like, that's not gonna get them to feel anything.
No,
they want to feel special and important, that you're putting all your energy in it, you know.
Really
and like
do.
When you engage people, that they feel that energy, it's reciprocated back,
right,
you know.
Right, I feel that, man.
Yeah,
100%.
that's it, right? Like,
just embrace it. Embrace it, don't erase it.
Hey, that's it.
That's the tagline for this.
Embrace it, don't erase.
Embrace it, don't erase it.
And also execution, balance, self-control.
Yep.
And keep it all in the family.
And keep it in the family and friends.
That's awesome, man.
Support your friends.
Yeah, buy your friends merch.
Buy your friends merch. Buy your friends candles. Buy your friends blender that they don't want anymore because like they're like, you know what, dude, I was making smoothies last year and I don't do it anymore. All right, cool. I'll take it from you.
And listen, you're gonna spend money at Starbucks and Dunkin' anyway, whatever.
Exactly.
You're gonna buy a coffee. Like, listen, your boy's got an album. It's okay. It doesn't have to be that good. Maybe the 5th album he makes, he's gonna blow up. So if you support him right now,
right.
You never know what, like, to it, you don't know who people are going to be.
And that's, like, brand equity right there. That's, like, something you want to earn. Yeah, brand equity, just, like, kind of, like, getting people to trust what you make because they've been fucking with it for so long. And following the story and brand
loyalty, too.
Brand loyalty. Yep. And I think that's super important.
Equity is the value and loyalty is the customer. You know?
Yeah.
That's really what it is.
Yeah, and I think that's huge. I think that's why we buy a lot of the products that we buy now.
That's probably the reason. I mean, Amazon, it's like Amazon has never fucked me over. Like, right. You know? And so I can't not buy things from them, you know?
Unbelievable. Their brand equity is, like, through the roof.
It's number one in the world.
They got everyone convinced that they're fucking kings.
Yeah,
oh my
straight
God,
up.
What are we gonna do with Amazon? But yeah, brand equity. Like it's important to get the 50 people, 100 people that follow you, 1,000, doesn't matter, to trust you. Trust what you say, you know.
Yeah, like I just put this shit out for everybody else, man. Like I do it for me too, obviously, because I want to talk to you. But I could just have you come over and we can just chill.
Right.
But I don't. That's not the same as making it available to the public, you know. Right. And so if people take anything from it, and which people do, like I get messages all the time, but I do it for those messages, man.
You know, it's a really funny small microcosm in this, and I always find it funny. Like, say if I like go and check into an Airbnb, and you go and meet the person that's like hosting the house or whatever, I think it's so funny that they never really look like what they look like in their profile picture. It always be like some person like maybe at a lot younger of a time when they had like hair and beard and shit, and then you meet them and it's this lady that's like balding dude who's just like, you know,
dude, how'd you age 20 years
the
from this picture?
manipulation game at the internet right now is hilarious. Like face filters and all this stuff.
Push button facelift, man. People, that's what it is.
Going through these like old photos for their profile pics, it's just so fun. No one can be fucking honest.
It's a facade, man. It's the image.
Can we just all be honest for like one day?
Nah, people just want to be something else.
Come on.
They ain't cool with themselves, man. They're trying to be somebody different. They're trying to be this person, or they're just trying to be worth a certain amount of likes.
I feel like one day
man.
I'm gonna like book an Airbnb and like the profile picture is gonna be like an emoji face.
Yeah, and you're just gonna be like, well, I guess this is a robot or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Let's see.
I guess this person just loves everything they see.
Yeah. Man, they got a laughy face, so I don't know. Questioning.
This person cries a lot.
They have they got like smug look. Smug emoji, or if every Airbnb you can't have a picture, you just have to have an emoji for your.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. It's an emoji. It's it.
Dude, the story of Airbnb is like kind of cool.
It's a great business, man.
It's funny.
Any business you can make right now where you don't own the inventory, you're killing it.
Yep.
Like that's where business is at right now. Not owning inventory, drop shipping everything, outsourcing from another company that distributes, and kind of just like doing that.
Yeah.
You know, I think like just working on that is really important.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's because that's the new wave.
It is.
Is not dealing with the bullshit. Like,
Amazon doesn't
all of
own
the
any of those products. They outsource. It's why with like really small.
There's no middleman anymore.
They say it really small. The company that it comes from, like when I order these trucks, it'll come from RC Toys or something like that, and it's just a company that they ship it out, and Amazon's the middleman.
Yeah, it's the middleman's changed. Really, it's still
the
there.
middleman has changed.
That's
exactly.
it. Yeah, that's what that's more accurate.
But yeah, man, so
shit.
Industry these days, it's cool though. I enjoy it all. You know, it's fun.
Me too, man. I'm having a great time. Like I'm chilling. I got Smilo for the camera.
Got these $1,200 phones that can do
$1,200
everything.
phones. We got
Amazon.
We can do AirDrop.
We got our friends making things. You know what I mean? Friends. All these people these days are making something.
All types of creativity.
Shooting something. You know what I mean? Support that. I can't say that enough. You know what I mean? Just.
We're trying to just ingrain it in your heads.
Trying to ingrain it in your heads. Just like after this podcast, go in your phone. And like, I don't know.
Or just DM somebody.
DM someone.
DM somebody who makes art or is creative or does music or something, and just be like, if it's real, if you really feel some way about it, then just tell them.
There's essential oils you make. Can you like send me a sample of one of those? I kind of want to try it. I was always a cologne person, and you know, like I don't want to I don't want to be that person anymore. I kind of want to transition to maybe try some essential.
Let's try it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fun.
And your interest just in that too will spark something, you know, because they see that you're interested in what they do. I mean, that's the same thing. You show interest, it's reciprocal. Like I said, like it's back and forth. They're gonna then go see what you're doing. You know, They're gonna like your pic. They're gonna look at your live video,
100%. And then
your podcast.
Then they're gonna like what you do too. They're like, you know what? I'm gonna like the cereal the picture of the cereal that you ate yesterday. You know, like I like
or this random.
It's nice that you reached out to me. I'm gonna show you that I love your cereal.
Yeah, it's the back and forth, man. It's the give and take.
Give and take.
You know what? The other day was cool. So my friend who I got on the podcast, who plays guitar, he was doing a show down south, like maybe in like Nashville or something. And so he brought a camera, and he had a rental car, and he left the camera in the car, and it got stolen, and at their Airbnb. So he was put out a thing on Instagram like, listen, guys, I'm not asking for money, but I need to buy a new camera so I can continue to make videos for people and do my job. So I sent him $10. And I only did a podcast with him. That's all I really know him from. He's a talented guy, like teaches music lessons for a living and makes music. So I was like, you know what? This will come back. Like, I'm just going to give it to him. Later that day, my friend hits me up and he goes, hey, man, I just made a snowboarding edit. Can I use your beat? I'll give you $10.
Right.
That's it.
Love it.
I gave my buddy $10. My friend gave me $10.
Wow.
For my shit.
Yeah,
for what I do.
Yeah, that's so, like a great exchange.
And it came back the same day.
That's as pure as it can
2 hours later, it came back. So
look at that.
The universe, man.
It's so funny. I told on the way here, there's a lot of tolls that I had to go through, and a couple of them. And I had cash on me. I was prepared for tolls because the navigation said, you know, you're gonna run into some tolls. I'm like, all right, cool. Get some cash. Got some cash. No problem. I get to the toll, and it's Easy Pass or 75 cents. And I'm like, dude, I'm not one of those people that has a change thing in my car. I don't do that. I don't do the change in my whip. I don't do the change cup. And I didn't know we were living in a generation still where we needed a change cup. You know what I mean? I thought we were out of that.
Only for tolls.
We're Venmoing now.
You can't do anything else with
people
with
are
change, but
yeah.
That's it.
So I had to stop. So I'm at the there's the Easy Pass section and the 75 cent section. I have 5 cents in my pocket, a nickel. And I was like, dude, I can't go through. And there's a sign that says, police will blah, blah, blah. This is a $500 fine or something like that. I was like, oh, my God. I think that's if you tamper with the actual device. It's for that.
Oh, no, it's $50 if you will go through it and don't pay.
Oh, it's 50?
Or 25 or something.
Oh, wow. Okay, cool. That's reasonable. I mean, but still, it's kind of fucked up because they're like, dude, who has 75 cents in their car? But so I'm at the crossroads. Easy Pass, 75 cents. I get out of my car. I'm like, dude, I got to look around the ground and to see if I can find some quarters. Dude, there's really like 4 quarters sitting on the ground.
Sweet.
I pick up the 4 quarters, I put it in, and I drive through. I'm like, wow, I can't believe that just happened. And then my navigation says, yo, dude, you got to go back the other way. So I had to go turn around, and to get back on the highway, I had to pay the 75 cents again. So I stop at the crossroad again, and this is a different one. It's on the opposite side of the road. It's a different change machine.
I look on the ground. There's 2 quarters sitting there, and I still had the 1 quarter from the 4 that I found on the first one. And there I had 3 quarters again. Put it in the thing. I went on with my life, and I like couldn't.
That's
believe
crazy
it.
that you found 3 quarters twice, and you had no knowledge that there was quarters.
I had no idea.
Anyway,
and I couldn't
or
believe
that
it, and
you
I
have
was,
to pay the
I
toll.
really I had to thank the world.
Yeah.
For dropping those quarters. Maybe the old lady that was like one day was like did it, and she dropped it. She was like, oh, I gotta get another one, and did it. Now it's 1 quarter, and then they just started accumulating until there was enough quarters for me.
There you go.
Couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
I was
that's
like,
crazy, man. That's another example of the.
Yeah, there's a lot of change down there, though. That's crazy. I'm like, damn, I can't believe like there's so much change down here. I guess a lot of people miss. It's a big bucket. You can't miss it. I mean,
yeah.
Maybe
No, it's a big one. Yeah.
You know what? Maybe it's for the people that are on the 18-wheelers that are sitting up real high and they're just like, oh, shoot, I missed it.
I don't even think they go through it.
Yeah,
they definitely do
they
Easy Pass. It could be
They
people like
definitely
with lifted
do.
trucks
Yeah,
and
dude,
shit.
what truck?
No, it's
yeah.
people with lifted trucks and shit, like, or people just rolling through so fast that they're trying to throw it and fucking.
It's
go.
crazy, man. I have a huge like love for semi trucks, like 18-wheelers. I don't know where it came from. It was just something in my life that I just started becoming obsessed with. I take pictures of them when I see them on the roads and stuff, and I just really appreciate it.
I love them too, man. They're so cool. Like, there's such a
I guess
large piece of machinery.
It's a large piece of machinery.
Massive diesel engine, like
diesel engine, like
right, Smilo?
Great,
like diesel.
Great American technology.
Yep.
I guess. And what I think I really like about them is the fact that they bring us what we need in life, man. Those are the modern day cowboys, the people that are herding the cattle so that all Wawas can get the lunch meats that they need.
Doing the transportation.
So all the people can go to Gap and buy jeans, and it's just like they provide the world with everything.
And it's unfortunate what's happening to them too, because
what is happening? I don't know much about.
So
the
this
culture.
is what's happening.
I just like the trucks and what they look like.
This is what's happening in trucking. It's crazy.
What's happening in trucking?
So what's happening in trucking is they don't the pool of people that apply for truck driving jobs every year is about, I think it's about 1 million people a year, 500,000 people a year, somewhere around that.
Okay.
Every year, there's a lot more people than that driving actual trucks, but in that.
Well, hold on, real quick, because a lot of people do it privately, and some people work for a company. That's the thing, right?
Yeah, and there's unions too.
Right.
Not a lot of people in the trucking unions though.
Okay.
So they have. Yeah, whether it's a private company, organization, company, like there's about 500,000 to 1 million people applying for these jobs every year.
Right.
Out of those people, 200,000 are eligible. Out of those people, they like only 20,000 out of those people can actually get on the job and do it.
Wow.
And pass the test.
The CDL.
So the CDL. And because it is so difficult, and you have to be a citizen, obviously. You have to, all these requirements, you have to have, like, pass all these drug tests and have no criminal record, all these things. They can't find enough people to drive trucks. So now, on the other hand, you have companies saying, the top companies in the world who are manufacturing and who are shipping products.
Well, I was going to say FedEx and UPS are probably the busiest in this sense.
Yeah, they're pretty big, yeah. I think produce is even bigger than that.
Right.
But they are saying, within the next 5 or 10 years, we're outsourcing all of these jobs. We're gonna have, once robot trucks are there, we're gonna buy them and
self-driving trucks.
Self-driving trucks. So 30 to 40% of all jobs in America will be outsourced in 5 to 10 years, and most of the trucking industry, like a large majority.
See, I have an interesting take on this because I talk about this with my friends. The whole idea of losing mechanical jobs.
It's automation.
And the thing about what I was saying about it is that obviously we're going to go through a time in life where things change. Like, we don't need this anymore because the machine does it. And I think just because that's happening doesn't mean that there's no jobs. I just think that shows people that, hey, you need to learn something different now. Okay, so now that trucks are driven by electronically on their own, maybe now you have to get a degree in programming, automobile mapping.
That's what they're trying to do.
And that's what I think people need to do. They need to stop being like, well, you don't need truck drivers anymore. No, what we need is people to educate themselves and kind of go with it rather than kind of fight it, because it's going to keep moving. And like all we need to do is to start educating in a different way.
You're right. They don't have a choice.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a choice whether if you're going to, they need a job.
But
right?
the thing is, what are you going to say to someone who's like 45 and did trucking their whole life? And they're like, dude, I'm not going to go back to school and learn computer systems. I can't do that.
I don't give a shit.
Obviously,
80% of these people are either have some sort of, like they're all of them are a very high risk for heart disease, things like that. So they're unhealthy people generally, is what I'm trying to say.
Right. Well, I mean,
because they sit in a truck, they have no choice.
Yeah,
they sit in a truck all day. They don't have a choice. So these aren't people that can really 100%. Continue to do physically demanding jobs.
Right.
And so that's why it's so hard. And then also, some of them might naturally be good at programming. Other ones, what if they're not? Like, what if you just can't teach an old dog
I was thinking more of like in a progression way, like the whole idea of like educating like people. I think that's a thing. But like what you're saying, I think it's a very hard issue to tackle, because what do you do with those people?
And the government sucks at educating people. So, and they're gonna suck if they try to re-educate. Like, re-education programs from the government don't work. Well, so we have to make it so they do work if we're going to save these people.
You know, it would be really awesome. See, if the government were to pay for education.
That's what they have to do. They have to
you know what?
Outsource it.
And then maybe these 45-year-old truck driver be like, you know what? The government's paying for me to go to school anyway. This would be really
Andrew
awesome.
Yang's trying to do. I don't know if you know of Andrew Yang.
No,
He's a Democratic candidate for the 2020 election.
Awesome.
He wants to give people what he calls the freedom dividend, which is $1,000 a month. Everybody gets $1,000 a month. He wants privatized programs for these truckers, for them to either learn something or give them a chance to work in another field.
Wow.
He knows that this is happening. He speaks with the people in business who
this
own
is
these
how we
companies.
get our products, people.
Yes.
Like,
so,
we need
and
to
the
like
people
make sure
at the top are saying, yes, we are going to use automation. Why wouldn't we? You know, it makes perfect sense for their pockets. They have a business to run.
Right.
So, yeah, there's a lot of other jobs that are going to be outsourced too, but if I like to use this as an example. There's a book by Clive Thompson. It's called Smarter Than You Think, Why Technology is Changing Our Lives for the Better. Okay. And it's a book all about the things, the jobs and the new creations, ideas, and technology that is going to increase, and the jobs that are going to increase, and the way that we can shift. Right. And he talks to people in every industry. It's kind of it's 3 or 4 years old now, it might be, but great book on the other half of that, you know. So jobs are being created. You're right. People have to adapt, 100%. But there's going to be a lot of people who can't or don't or won't.
Right.
So what do we do? Huge question. Huge question. Not a simple answer. So
not simple at all.
No, I mean it never is, man, with huge issues like that. But it's kind of something that nobody's really thinking about until it happens, you know. But you're right. What do the people with the horse-drawn carriage do?
It's just like no one was thinking about algorithms. Remember that?
Yeah. Or this online bookstore being the largest company.
Now, if you don't know what an algorithm is, it's like, who are you?
Yeah. What do you fucking just never use an algorithm, bro?
It's funny. You know what people say? They. I feel like the new reference for they is just going to be the algorithm. That's going to be they. They used to be people,
a person or a company, and now it's going to be.
And now they is going to be one day is going to be an algorithm.
You're right. It's going to be the evolution.
That's going to be what you're. That's going to be what you're like, kind of like fighting.
And then when
against.
There's automated trucks on the road.
Yeah.
They're just going to be like, yep, they're running that shit. Yeah, they have them on the road too, just not in mass scale yet.
Yeah, like when
But yeah, man, it's all about algorithms and self-control.
Yeah, man.
But shit, man, we're at 1 hour and 50 minutes right now.
Love it.
So that's a fucking.
That's a pot.
That's a pot.
That's a pot. That's a big pot.
That's a fucking girth.
That's a large pot.
It's fucking big. Just a lot of shit in there. Like
it's if
you stirred it up, there would be so many fresh ideas in there, just culminating like that. I hope people go home and expand on.
Yeah.
I know you're probably home now, but even if you're not home, when you do go home, or if you're out and about, it doesn't matter, you know?
Yeah.
Sit down with your friends, have a podcast,
dude.
See what's up, debate some ideas, you know?
Yeah.
See what you can come up with and form something of your own. I think is really that's the thing, you know?
Yeah, man.
If you have something, do it, you know?
I agree.
If you have a podcast, do it.
Agree. Execution.
Self-control, execution.
That's all it is.
Adaptation. Balance.
Dude, I can't
Key
thank
concepts.
you enough for having me come through and just hang out here,
man.
dude.
Awkward.
Oh,
Bang! Look at I saved it, baby. What's up, podcast? I'm good. All right, let's finish that. It's tough under the mics.
It's really the hardest thing about this is the coffee sip. Through this whole hour and 50 minutes, I've kind of like through talking and stuff, figured out little systems of how I go about
Same,
this.
bro. No, this is me.
You
This
know
is
what I
me.
mean? Maybe I should sit.
It's a
in
transfer
way,
system.
But I don't know. I just.
No, you kind of need it close anyway, because then you need like to recognize the sound.
Yeah, I feel like I've been pretty distant. I hope I've been picking up for the
No,
beeps.
actually, this mic picks up a lot more, so I put this one down and I raise yours up.
Okay.
So it bounces it. I kind of got it where
Nice.
it's supposed to be now. So.
Well, dude, thank you so much. I had a great time being here. They had honey, tea, coffee, weed, bottles of water.
Everything.
The
whole accommodation, podcast setup.
Fucking shout out Amazon.
On the low, by the way, on the low. Like this is a budget build, and we're still killing it.
Yeah, you're killing it, dude.
So, hey, thanks, man. I appreciate you coming up here and just telling people what you're all about and us having a crazy conversation, because that was like probably one of the best podcasts I've done right there.
Thank you, man.
Man, honestly. And I hope everyone is the best one I've done, and that's what I try to do.
Yeah.
Is just put out quality content and just kind of do what I want and go off on some concepts, see what we come up with. So,
yeah, man. And
I think that's what we did.
Yeah, man. And if all I gotta say is that don't forget to support your friends, your family, support what they do, believe in them, and they'll believe in you.
Yeah.
And keep it 100.
Self-control, execution, balance, all in the motherfucking fam.
Yep, that's what it is.
All in the family. Sundays at 8 for Beach Links.
Tonight at 8:00, I'm going up against the Oscars with All in the Family. So during the commercials, a lot of people
they'll be ripping
tune in at 8:00 on my Instagram at Beach Links, and I'll have a new episode of All in the Family.
Amazing. Yeah. So at Beach Links everywhere basically.
Yep.
Instagram is huge. His clothing is sick. Check it out. He designed mine too. So, the first set we did came out great. So that's it, man. You're killing it in all facets.
Thank you.
You got it all. So, man, I appreciate you coming up here. It's been long overdue, and I'd like to do another one, man. Let's get up. Yeah. Maybe I'll bring it to you, or we'll
do a jam session next time.
Yeah, we'll do
make
jam.
More music.
Yeah, make it more.
Yeah,
this has been the information one, and then next time. We'll get it
jam
all out with the jam. Yeah, because I got my guitar and my amp here too.
I brought my ukulele, but we're gonna save that for next time.
It's sorry, folks, but get you to watch the next one.
Jam out next time.
Yeah, next time is gonna be crazy actually.
Yeah,
we might even put something together, get Logic ripping, and
nice.
Who knows, man? Let's see what we come up with. But once again, Beach Links, everybody. This
you.
has been BOPCAST episode 5. We are on every single platform you could possibly think of, even the ones nobody uses. I've never even heard of some of these platforms. But on the main platforms, we got Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Anchor app has been pretty popular on there.
I saw that you had all those listed. I was like, really? Like, damn.
Slacker Radio.
You got them on all of them.
Yeah, all of them. Yep.
Love it.
So, yeah, and you can do it too. You'll probably hear an ad at the beginning of this if you're watching on the Anchor app.
You probably have a $1,200 phone that can do it too. So.
Exactly. Your $1,200 phone can just rip this podcast
It
up.
really can. So.
Audio on all those platforms, video on YouTube and Instagram at BOPCAST Pod. Like I said, guys, have a good one. This has been BOPCAST episode 5. Beach Links. What up? We out.
Nice.